Back to Road Gang Radio with Jimmy Mack, Lindsay Lawler.
Give me a minute, y'all. I'm coming.
And you, because if you're listening, you're in the gang. Take it away, founding member Phone Master Dre.
You are in the gang, and we are live from Fast Sports Studios with Jimmy Mack and me yet again.
It really is a spooky season, by the way. It's Tech Talk with TMC. It's not Maintenance Matters. Good God Almighty, what is wrong with me? Big thanks to Touchdown Turtle Tara Garris for pointing it out to me. Sister, you keep calling me out. I always take the note. Appreciate it so much.
Sorry, I didn't catch it.
By the way, we are literally hurting through time and space. Guys, I don't know if you know the difference between the two segments, but there is a big difference. Kevin is talking about the daily maintenance. And I think I know what my confusion might have been. I got so used to them talking about preventative maintenance, which they don't focus on. They actually talk about the new technologies that are being onboarded. And that's kind of fantastic. Today, they actually talked about the idea that all of that new tech doesn't make a lick of difference if you actually don't do that preventative maintenance. But I've got Maintenance Matters on the mind because I have been talking to Kevin over the last week about a whole bunch of groovy stuff as we continue to improve that segment. Don't forget, Maintenance Matters, Tech Talk with TMC, and the currently upcoming segment of Education Station all can be found after the fact on any streaming service you choose to listen to. So Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, all of that. If you type in Maintenance Matters, you will get Kevin, Lindsay, and I. If you type in Tech Talk with TMC, you will get Robert Braswell and the great content and the great guest he brings on by. And if you type in Education Station, you haven't got to type in anything else, just put it in quotes, put it up there, Education Station. This segment will come up, as it always does, every single episode since we have launched on the RadioNemo.com platform. Really groovy stuff. So I say we turn to that segment now. Nicholas Gonzalez is the CDL Program Director at Johnston County Community College in Terry Taylor Country, Kansas. And Robert Clements joins him. He is a CDL instructor at the Johnston County Community College here on Education Station, which is brought to you by Carrier's Edge. Good morning to you both. Hey, Nicholas. Hey, Robert.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
And I promise you both, I will use your name at the end of questions and thereby prevent this from turning into Howard Hawks' production of The Thing. Okay, so let's kind of start with you, Nicholas. Give us a 30,000-foot view of the program over there in Johnston County.
Absolutely. So our program is in an interesting and exciting spot right now because although Johnston County Community College has had a CDL training program for over 10 years now, we just recently, in August of last year, finished construction on our own training facility. So we have a building and large range that is solely dedicated to CDL training. So although it's a 10-year-old program, it's kind of taken a new life here in the last year, and it's just opened up a world of opportunities for us. And it's allowed us to train a lot more students, take on a lot more clients, help businesses train their employees, and get more people from the community their license so they can get out there and start driving.
And that's kind of a great place to be in regards to, what we're setting up for in regards to a new economy and where the economy is headed and what's going to be expected from workers in the future. Can you also kind of, go into a little more detail about the fact that community colleges serve communities? People have this idea that colleges are simply designed to kind of put people out in the world any place they want to go. But part of what you guys do is that you have to kind of create networks of private businesses and public services so that the people who are going there have places to go once they leave. Can you talk a little bit about the fortune of those partnerships?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The partnerships is all of it. We could not do it without the partnerships. So part of it, to what you mentioned, is having those employer partners, so those carriers, those construction companies, those concrete companies. We have a pretty large list of those that come into our public classes, speak with our students, recruiters from companies like Swift, TMC, Schneider, but also those asphalt companies, Department of Transportation, construction companies who are looking for drivers. So we try to give our students a wide variety of options that they could do once they are finished with our program and licensed to go out and start their career in this industry. And, there's other partners that play a big role in that too, of course, those who provide funding to cover the tuition for those students, and then those partners that we have that supply our equipment and everything all comes in together for the final product.
Robert Clements joins us as well, too, and he is an on-the-ground, boots-on-the-ground CDL instructor over there at Johnston County. Can you kind of talk about your own background and your own experience? Because, one of the things that is a concern these days is making sure that the trainers who are training the next generation of drivers actually understand what it is they're kind of putting into practice and effect. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Robert.
Well, I've had my CDL for the better part of about 30 years. I've done many different types of driving over the road. I've done local type work for LTL carriers, which is a less than truckload, basically making deliveries just to local businesses around the city. I've also been a school bus driver. So, I've seen lots of different stuff there. I've also done work with smaller companies like moving trucks in and out of dock doors, which they call a yard driver. So I've had experience with just about every type of kind of company that we actually deal with here at Johnson County Community College.
I wanted to kind of follow this up, the question, because you brought up the idea of being a school bus driver as well. A good friend of this show many years ago actually was kind of charged with diversifying her workforce. She ran the Baton Rouge segment for a waste disposal and sustainability company. She went and she basically pilfered a whole bunch of women who drove school buses for the that parish in Louisiana, and in the blink of an eye found a lot of people who knew how to drive around precious cargo in suburban neighborhoods. When you're bringing in students and when you're looking at the next generation of drivers, how do you kind of figure out if somebody is actually going to be good in the program, and what are you seeing in regards to success rates? And I don't need the numbers of who's graduating, but who are the people who are most successful when you teach these classes? Who are the kind of people that you're looking for in regards to the next gen of drivers?
Yeah, so we have a wide variety of students who come through our program. It's definitely not out of the ordinary for a class's age range to be anywhere from 18 or 19 years old as up to, we've had people in their 70s come through who are looking to get their CDL to start that, second career, or maybe it's been a lifelong passion. But our overall success rate right now in terms of people who complete our program and then get licensed, pass their skills test at the end, is hovering around 97 or 98%. I can't say there's a common trend in who is successful when they come in, but there are common traits. So it's those who actually show up to class, those who are there from start to finish, who put the work in and have a passion to learn this trade and start a new career. But yeah, it is mainly, you can kind of tell from that initial conversation that I have with them how serious they are about taking on this new profession. But Robert, I don't know if you see anything different out there in the field when you're training with the students in terms of who is successful.
Well, usually, like you were saying, it's a lot about passion. So it's just one of those things where if somebody really you can tell that desire. It's like they want that desire to learn. They want to absorb that information. So it's just one of those things that it does take sometimes, as somebody out on the range doing the work, just watching them and seeing who's actually taking the initiative to learn more about what we do as far as our training program, how it goes.
Yeah, seeing it as more than just a class, but really coming in here to learn. And obviously those individuals who come to us with a farming background or something of that nature, to where they have experience driving those large trucks or hauling trailers, they always do very well in the program. But that is a shrinking demographic in present day.
I wanted to kind of add this too and kind of give you guys some kudos here that part of the reason why the passion element is so important is that you guys actually set these folks up for success. I don't mean set these folks up to pass, set them up if they have the passion to pass, because you guys talk to me a little bit about this, Nicholas, as well, and then I'd love to hear Robert's take on how this helps, about adaptive schedules. You do adaptive scheduling, and you also create new programs to kind of target new drivers from maybe different demographics in different locations. The idea is to set this up so that the student's passion can be accommodated. You guys are trying to create as much time and space availability to make this a possibility for maybe people who have another job, for maybe people who are, struggling to get there. Because they're looking to step up in life. Talk about the steps you've taken to make passion that principal component as opposed to having a farming background.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And having our own facility has helped out so much with that because we can be creative with our schedules. We don't have to worry about sharing the space with other people, so we get to kind of set things up that we know will be that will lead to success. So at the end of last year, we kind of had a different format to where students had to be out here at different times of the week, in the evenings and the weekends, and all that. So it was kind of a slog to get through that 9 or 10 weeks for them to complete and get their license. So I kind of looked at it and said, let's make these more concise. Let's help out the students, make it a little easier for them. So we currently now have our accelerated 4-week program that is full-time. So those individuals who maybe are between jobs or are looking to start a new career as soon as possible can come in full-time for 4 weeks, get trained, get tested, get their license to get out and start that new career as soon as possible. For those who are still working a 9 to 5 or something along those lines, or maybe, busy at the farm during the week, then we have weekend classes only, so they can come out on Saturday and Sunday to achieve their license. And then in spring of 2026, we are looking to bring those evening classes back, but solely evenings only for those who, maybe they work 6 days a week and they do have a weekend shift to where they can't do our weekend class, they can't do our weekday class, but they could do evenings. So we're trying to capture all of those students there. And then another new thing we re-implemented into our program is the refreshers. So we're still trying to reach those people who need our assistance who already have their CDL, but maybe they need more attention on their backing skills. They need more assistance with that, or they have a manual restriction or a pintle hook restriction on their license that's inhibiting them from getting a different job. So we can bring them in for 40 hours and get them trained up on that, retested, so that they can go and be on their way with those new skills.
I wanted to kind of ask this to Robert, too, the idea of those refresher courses. There's a lot of people out there, and this is a lot. You guys do not fall into this category. There was a big news the other day where a sitting U.S. senator and a very powerful member of the House are crafting a bill going after CDL mills. And so there are a lot of people out there who have those CDLs who have been victims of that. You guys, therefore, are set up for those kind of human beings to say, hey, look, I didn't get what I needed, and I'm struggling to get a job or struggling to hold on to a job. Do you feel like you guys can actually help people who have been kind of exploited like that actually get their foot back in the door?
Actually, yes. We've actually had a couple people that have come through our course just this past year where they have actually attended a program wherever and have actually found Johnson County Community College to actually come through our program because of just that particular instance where they didn't get a whole lot of good training to where they felt safe as just a CDL holder itself. So, I mean, with our programs, especially our refresher programs, the ones that we have had come through here, just after a 40-hour week class, they felt a lot more confident and a lot more secure in their ability to actually handle a tractor trailer out on the road just with spending that 1 week and just being able to actually have that more, it's more of a one-on-one type deal. So, I mean, it definitely benefited them coming through that program.
Nicholas, I'm actually going to ask Robert another question because you brought up something too. Robert, having worked in the private sector before having made this move, do you find, I always used to find it strange, having worked at a university for an extended period of time, the idea of having to fight for space. When you work for a trucking company, you work for a trucking company, you have your own yard. The idea of having to share a building or share a space is kind of an odd concept, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been with Johnson County Community College for 3 years now, so I've actually seen us transition from where we were at before, which was a tiny little classroom, and we were sharing space with another organization, and to now have our own facility and our own training area and testing ability. I mean, I've seen everything change, and it just feels so much better being able to have this space available to us, and hopefully, potentially, God willing, we'd be able to continue to grow into the future, so where we can actually take and be able to support training a lot more people.
Nick, I have to say congratulations on that. I know a little bit about what it takes on a university or a college or a community college campus to actually carve out your own space. So they only do that when they feel like something is growing and improving. So congratulations and well done on that. I wanted to kind of also talk to you about the acquisition of stuff, because one of the things we always find that when people run a program is they're having to go back to the people with the power of the purse and say, we need new technologies. Now, you have a different setup because you do have partners. Can you talk about what it takes to get new technologies into your program and also how you incorporate them?
Yeah, so in those 10 years leading up to us having our own facility, there were many opportunities for us to get a driving simulator implemented into our program. But as you referenced earlier, there was a lack of space. So when it was kind of funny, as soon as we built our new facility, the very first thing that was in this building was a driving simulator. It was a completely empty building, and then we had that delivered basically as soon as we could. And so our college was Johnson County Community College was very helpful in that for supplying us with some additional apprenticeship funds that we had because they did see a need for that in the CDL program. So we've now had the full driving simulator from L3 Technologies and a virtual reality headset for pre-trip in our program this past year, and it has been used a lot. So it's a little different between our public program and our private contracted clients. So for those public students, they'll be using that simulator a lot on the front end to get used to the mechanics of backing or learning how to properly shift in a manual transmission truck. And then for our contracted clients, since they're kind of on a stricter timetable there, they typically use that towards the end of their training to sharpen up those skills, just work on shifting a little more when their trucks may be being used for testing. So that has been a very welcomed addition to our program here.
By the way, Tom Bray of J.J. Keller over in the chat here as we continue our conversation on Education Station said he saw an advertisement recently, 1 day ELDT and CDL in 4 days, and then he followed up by saying that likely one of these is who Johnson has been seeing follow up on with its refresher courses. By the way, Tom just recently retired from J.J. Keller and is a former truck driver himself, so he knows of what he speaks, and Trucker Bosun points out that what Tom is talking about is ridiculous. And I want to kind of talk to Robert here to kind of go into the nitty-gritty of how you go about handling your classes, to kind of give people what a quality CDL education looks like from the ground up, if you wouldn't mind, Robert.
Yeah, so basically as far as like our accelerated course, I mean, it is a 4-week program. We basically provide our students with about 16 hours of classroom time, getting them to understand the basics of how the trucks operate, being able to understand the new hours of service regulations, and be able to understand how to properly plan how to get across the country without using a lot of technology. We also spend a fair amount of time teaching our students how to do our backing skills that's required for testing. We also provide them with a little bit of real-world experience when it comes to what is a truck driver going to do out there. I mean, so we take and we'll actually show them how to perform coupling and uncoupling so that when they get out in the real world, they know how to do it for whoever they may be going to work for. We also teach them real-world experience driving out there. I mean, we'll teach them what they need to learn for their test, but we're also putting them in basic situations that allow them to understand this is the kind of situations you want to avoid, and this is how you go about doing that in order to make them a better, well-rounded driver when they actually complete our course.
I wanted to ask you, too, because you got 28 years behind the wheel, and you've actually moved 200 students from students into becoming both Class A and Class B drivers. I was kind of curious in regards to the lifestyle stuff, the soft skills, what you actually have time for and how you manage to work that in, because, man, you have been everywhere. You've seen a lot of the country, and, you know, our good friend Donnie Talk loves to say, you don't get paid to drive, you get paid to back up. And so all of that kind of stuff, all that kind of wisdom of the road, how do you incorporate that into a very tech-savvy and practical coursework?
Well, I mean, basically, it's just a matter of, just making it pretty much one and the same as part of the course. I mean, there are things that we have to teach, but there is so much. There's so many times where we're going through and talking about different things when we're actually teaching the students that we just incorporate it into our training process as far as like teaching them how to do different things like checking, how to check how a coupling system works and being able to actually show them the different parts and how things work. Because, I mean, in all reality, it's like when they get out there, they're going to be so green that they're going to be scared. And coming through our program, it allows them to understand and learn all that stuff with all the experience that we have here as far as all of us instructors, that it's just become a part of what we do because we want to make sure that everybody has everything they need to be able to go out into the world and do everything that they need to do.
By the way, guys, we still got a little bit of time here to talk, but I want to make sure people go to JCCC, that's triple C, jccc.edu. It's simply a matter of going onto the search on their engine. I won't give you the full thing. We'll actually post that later on. But if you just type in commercial driver's license, that particular page will pop up as well. I have to ask you, Nick, because everybody's always got plans for expansion. What's next? And then I've got kind of an overall question for you both about the community that you serve. But what's next for you guys?
Yeah, so it's a timely question because we are sitting here almost a little over 1 year after the construction of our facility and the grand opening of that. And the only thing we've seen since opening last year is growth, up and up and up. And I was actually just talking to Robert prior to this, but we're on pace by the end of this year to double the amount of students we've served since 3 years ago before our facility was open. We are on pace to double pretty much everything, double more than everything. So the college has been very grateful to listen to our needs and hear what we have to say. So there is already plans to expand the 10-pad range we have out back to add a few more for additional testing space and additional training space out there. And then this is much further down the line, but additional just classroom space, actual building space to shelter the growing number of students that we have out here on a day-to-day basis. So they're not, having all that range space is great, but don't want to just be standing out there all day. It's nice to have some coverage, especially on a kind of cold and rainy morning like we have here in Kansas City right now. But so that is what we are looking at next, just showing the numbers, talking with our contracted clients, their desires to grow internally as well, and how we can expand here to serve them and meet those needs.
And by the way, I have to ask this question. I'm a big football fan, and right now it's the silly season in college football. A lot of people are getting fired, many of them not because they weren't good coaches, but because ultimately they weren't a good fit for the programs they were in. And, as you guys expand, you're probably going to have the need for more trainers or to figure out new work schedules and all of that. So, Robert, I was going to ask you, as somebody who has successfully moved 200 folks through this program, what do you think people look for? What do you know when you see a good trainer? What does that look like to you? And I'd love your answer to that question as well, Nick. But Robert, we'll start with you. What makes a good trainer as opposed to a good X's and O's guys, which are guys that can drive beautifully, gals that can drive beautifully, but can't teach a lick? What are you looking for?
Well, I mean, as far as instructors and whatnot, I mean, we're looking for somebody who has a good, solid background as far as driving goes. Because I mean, without good driving skills, you're not going to be able to teach and whatnot. But in the same turn, you have to have a passion to actually want to pass on the knowledge that you've learned in order to basically enrich somebody else's life. And I mean, for the longest time, I didn't think I was going to be one of those type of people. But here over the last several years, when I got into this, I've found that passing on the knowledge is what drives me, and I think it's what drives everyone here. It's like we have that desire and we have that want to make sure that everybody that we see and that we touch, that we can give them the best of us as far as instructors and what we have to teach as a driver. Because simply, I mean, anybody can drive, but it takes someone with the heart and the passion to be able to come here and teach somebody how to do what we do.
By the way, that's Robert Clements, the CDL instructor at Johnston County Community College. We're going to give the CDL Program Director there, Nick Gonzalez, the last word here. Nick, what do you look for in a teacher? I mean, I can hear Robert's understanding of the joy of seeing the light bulb above a student's head. But what are you looking for in an instructor?
Yeah, and I'll first just say that is the true strength of our program. Our roster of instructors, we have approximately 20 instructors on our staff, and 10 of those are licensed third-party examiners with the state to be able to do that testing. So this program does not exist with their combined hundreds of years of experience and all millions of miles over the road. So this program would not exist without them. But when I am interviewing instructors looking to bring someone onto the team, I am looking for someone who, number one, is a team player. We're not looking for someone to come in here and, make it their way or the highway. Obviously having different styles is important because not every student is going to be able to be taught or trained in the same way. So having different styles helps. But we are looking for someone to be a team player, work with all of our other instructors, work within the guidelines and the regulations of the state that we follow to a T, and then also someone who is patient. So having that patience and passion are key as well. So we're not looking for someone who's going to be screaming at a student when they don't get their offset backing done right the first day. We're looking to someone say, okay, good job. Let's take a look at this and figure out how you can do it better next time. So yeah, team player, patience, and passion, I think all combined make an excellent instructor.
More Andy Reid, less Urban Meyer. I can't thank you both enough. Robert Clements, of course, who's an instructor over there at Johnston County Community College, and Nick Gonzalez, the CDL Program Director at Johnston Community College. Happiest of Halloweens, happiest of fall to both of you. You're welcome back anytime.